Yeah.
So are we expecting more people to join, or should I start?
Just me. We can start.
Oh, okay, good. Right. Yeah, let me share my screen and then we can get started.
Okay.
Yeah, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Perfect. Great. First of all, thank you very much for joining this session. And in today's call, we'll be talking about what Cypress is. And let me just give you a quick side of what are the topics for today. Right. Okay.
Sure.
So yeah, we'll be starting with what Cypress is and why it is gaining more and more popularity. And eventually we'll deep dive into some other concepts of it, like installing it, and eventually we'll start with writing our first test with Cypress. Before starting with it, let me just ask you a couple of questions just to understand, if you are familiar with any automation framework, and if you have any experience with that.
I don't.
You don't. Okay. Sure. All right. So I'll try and give you examples with real world applications, and how this could help us, and how does it fare against the other automation tools in the market.
Okay.
So yeah, without further ado, let me start with what Cypress is. So it is a front-end automation tool, that is in the market for modern web applications, and it runs on Node.js. So when we say modern web applications, what I mean by that is that the latest applications that we see over the internet, and the underlying technologies behind that are pretty modern. So earlier, the applications used to be built on plain HTML and CSS, right, and used to be very static data, whereas new technologies have come in the market like React and Angular. So, which has enabled the developers to, quickly form a website and, have a lot of features to it. So this is an automation framework which is, built keeping those technologies in mind, and it runs on Node.js environment. So Node.js is nothing but a runtime environment for JavaScript. So most of the web applications that are, developed uses JavaScript, and, Node.js is just an environment to run your JavaScript code. And also one thing, Usman, during the session, if you have any doubts, please feel free to stop me there and ask your questions.
Okay.
Happy to answer that. All right. Yeah, moving forward. So Cypress is actually an open source platform. It also has a paid version, but that is specifically for a feature called dashboard. So Cypress allows you to run tests in parallel and on multiple browsers at the same time, and on different platforms like Windows, Linux, Mac. And for that service, that is actually called dashboard. So if someone wants to use that service of Cypress, then it's a paid version. Otherwise, Cypress is a fully open source version, so that is absolutely free. Cypress supports two languages for writing your tests. One is JavaScript and another is TypeScript. It supports Chrome, Edge, Firefox browsers, and WebKit, which is a Safari. So right now that is in experimental phase. Right now it does not support, but I think in beta version, it allows you to experiment with that. Also, the frameworks that are supported there. So here the frameworks are Mocha and Chai. So these are the testing frameworks. So in some other tools like Selenium or other automation frameworks, TestNG and other libraries are very famous, right? So Mocha is nothing but a JavaScript testing library, just like TestNG for Java. So that is supported, and Chai is actually an assertion library. All right. Yeah, moving forward, Cypress has really gained a lot of popularity in the last few years. So let's understand why Cypress is very very popular, and what advantages it offers against some of the other automation frameworks that we have in the market. Right. So the biggest advantage that Cypress offers is that it's very fast, and the reason for that is it runs directly inside the browser. And Selenium is again a very popular, a very legacy automation framework in the market. And unlike that, it does not require any driver for you to install. So what happens with Selenium is that, you have to, download and maintain different drivers for all the browsers, and all the communication that happens with the application code and the browser is through a driver. So that actually slows down the overall execution time. Whereas with Cypress, because it runs directly inside the browser, you don't need any driver, and it's very fast compared to other automation frameworks.
Mhm.
It also allows you, writing end-to-end tests, unit tests, integration tests, and also make API calls. So when Cypress eventually came into the market, it was more of a, automations, it was built from an automations point of view. But eventually it started supporting so many aspects of your feature development automation that, it can be used by anyone in the team. Developers can use it to write unit tests, do component testing. The automation engineers or the QAs in the market can use it for writing end-to-end tests, integration tests. And it also, allows you to make API calls and, interrupt the calls and basically violate the APIs as well. So, it's one of those very rare automation tools in the market, which offers you complete end-to-end control over the applications. It's also very easy to install and, get started with it. Like I said, with Selenium, one would have to download the drivers and maintain those and, do the setup on their machines. But with Cypress, one just needs to install Cypress and, it's good to go. So you do not need to maintain any other libraries or, download any other stuff except Cypress. Another advantage which Cypress offers over other frameworks is that, it automatically takes screenshots at every step that you perform, and it also records videos of all the tests for you. So, with some other frameworks like Selenium, what used to happen is that, whenever you were writing a new test, you had to, add code for taking screenshots, or, if you wanted to record anything. But with Cypress, that is an inbuilt, by default feature that it supports. Right. I'm sorry, just give me a second. I think there's a message. Sorry, give me a second.
Sorry, I don't know why I just went offline.
Hey, no problems. I didn't notice that you had dropped. No worries. Can you let me know till where you were able to hear me, so that I'll start from there.
Yeah, I think we were at the easy to get installing it started.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So yeah, I was talking about another advantage that Cypress offers is that automatically taking screenshots and recording videos for you. So with some other frameworks, one would have to write that code to take screenshots in case of any failures, so that one could go back and debug what really went wrong. Whereas, Cypress offers that feature inbuilt and, automatically enabled for you. So, that takes off a huge effort from the programmer's point of view. Another benefit of Cypress is that, it supports automatic weighting. So what I mean by automatic weights is that, with front-end automation, a lot of effort goes into making sure that the page is loaded and, the elements are available for someone to perform actions or, do some validations over it. So to give you an example, there's a script running behind on a web page and, it takes some time to load some elements for you. So with other frameworks, one, had to write those weights and, define all those features or properties. But whereas with Cypress, it has inbuilt. So it automatically waits for those elements to appear. Of course, there's a timeout which you set at the configuration level, but it automatically waits and automatically detects as soon as the element is available or the page is loaded, it resumes your execution. So one does not have to look into these details as well. The last point about Cypress is that, it has really good documentation and community support. So, for going forward with any of the automation framework, it's very important to understand that, it has to have a very good documentation and also community support available so that, in case in future, if you need any support, if you're stuck anywhere, you should be able to find those answers. Right. So Cypress has done really well on that front as well. And like I said, it has really good documentation, really good guides, talking in detail about every command, giving examples and a lot of, use cases. So I think, yeah, that is, again, another thing where, Cypress has done really well.
Right.
All right.
So it'll be replacing, I guess, Selenium in the future sometimes. Or so Selenium
replacing. Yeah, I think a lot of companies, have already started moving away from Selenium, though there has been a, newer version of Selenium, Selenium 4. But I think it still lags from, as compared to other frameworks in the market like Cypress and Playwright. And, Cypress does not do very well in terms of performance, whereas other frameworks like Cypress and Playwright, offers that advantage over Selenium. So, I mean, most of the legacy projects are still on Selenium. It takes a lot of effort to move away from an existing framework to a new one. But, having said that, in my experience, if there are new services that are getting built upon and companies are really preferring Cypress and Playwright over Selenium. So I think in near future, we would see more and more companies using Cypress over Selenium.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, moving to the next slide. So here we'll talk about, editor and about the installation steps for Cypress. So basically, first thing that we need to install is Node.js. Like I said, Cypress runs on top of Node.js. So this actually redirects you to the page of Node.js. So basically, it has installers available for all the platforms. You can install for your platform. It's pretty straightforward. And, in terms of editor, the most recommended by the Cypress team is Visual Studio, though it can run with others as well. But generally for JavaScript and TypeScript, languages, Visual Studio is something that really stands out. So yeah, Visual Studio again, I've shared the link that has the directions to install this particular IDE. And yeah, what one has to do is that, one has to create a new folder and, open it in Visual Studio. That will be doing, side by side. And one has to just run these couple of commands and you would have your Cypress installed on your system. So yeah, I think we can
download.
Yeah, I think, I mean, just for the interest of time, I've already, downloaded and installed these services. So yeah, I think I can just, open the Visual Studio and follow the rest of the instructions. So like it says that, we just need to create a new folder. So what we'll do is here, we'll create a new folder. says Cypress demo. Now that we have created, we'll select this folder. And right now it's a completely empty folder, right? We don't have anything. So what we need to do is we just need to go to terminal and run those commands, right? So, before running those, what we can verify is that, we have Node.js installed on our system. So if I type Node, we should be able to see.
That's something that you have already installed.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can see that Node is already there. It is printing the node and the version, right? And so npm is actually a node package manager, which allows you to install packages on Node. So like our first command, which is npm -i init. So this is nothing but actually an initialization command. So this will basically create a package.json file for you. So whenever you want to, create a new Node project, what you need to do is just run this command and it will create a new package.json file for you. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So so it is asking for a few details, right? So we can choose to enter those or leave it blank for now. So it is asking for a package name. I'm gonna let it go with the default values, right? Let me just enter this entry point, test command. I'll leave it blank for now. No repository. And yeah, after asking for a few details, it created a new file for us. So if we notice here, okay, it's actually asking if it is okay or not. So yeah, there you go. It has created a new file for us, which is the details that it had asked for. So yeah, this is our JSON file. The next thing that we need to do is install Cypress, right? So I'm gonna go with this command npm install Cypress, and this will install Cypress on my system. And we'll see that happening in just a few seconds. So this command could take a few minutes if this is the first time you're installing Cypress on your system. So yeah. In the meantime, do you have any questions? What we discussed so far?
No, not right now. No.
Okay. Yeah, I think we can already see, it has started to add something to our folder. I'll talk about it in a minute. Cool. Yeah, so we can see that it added a lot of packages and Cypress is on our system. So this is actually what it did. So there's a new folder in our in our directory called node modules. So whatever libraries, APIs that Cypress needs to function, all of those are present in this node modules for us, right?
So they were installed along with the Cypress?
Correct. So Cypress is actually a bundle of all of these modules, which it installed on our system by just that command, right? That's all we had to do. Now we don't need to do anything for the installation part, and we are, good with that.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, I think we discussed this. Moving on, next steps are about configuring Cypress, and I'll quickly walk you through the structure of Cypress. All right. Yep, we can actually run this command and open Cypress. So what we're going to do is npx open Cypress. So this will open the Cypress tool for us, and from there we can configure it. Npx.
Takes a while to open, or?
No, it does not. I don't know. Let me use the other way. There's another way to open the Cypress. Yeah, it's strange actually. This command is failing. Usually that does the job, but yeah, there's an alternative way of opening the Cypress. Yeah. So when you're opening it for the first time, it could take some time, but I think yeah, if you are going to open it again, it shouldn't take that long.
Right. Cypress also support Edge or no?
Edge, it does support.
It doesn't. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
no, it does. It does support.
Oh, it does support. Okay.
All right. Like I said, first time it takes some time. I think it's definitely installing things for you, but yeah. All right. So it's ready now. So it's like I said, it allows you to build a end-to-end testing automation framework, or allows you to do component testing as well. So for this demo, we are going to go ahead with end-to-end testing.
Mm-hmm.
So we can see that it's not configured. Now it will start in configuring the Cypress framework for you. So by default, it will add these files for you. We can choose or unselect any of the files if we don't want to. So this is how the structure of Cypress is. So it will add a config file for you. It is the main configuration file for Cypress. We can define a lot of properties and how Cypress should behave in this file. So this is the default content it will come with. Second is the support directory. So basically it has two files for you. One is end-to-end.js. So this file gets loaded before every test file. And Cypress automatically loads that file for you. So if there are any task or something you want to define, which you would want to get executed or be available in every of your test files, you could define that code in this file.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's a command file. So basically Cypress allows you to create custom commands. And this is a file where you have to add the code for that. So it has given a few examples. If you were to create a command called login, this is how you could do it. Just put it in this file, and you will be able to use it throughout your automation framework. The last thing is, so there's a fixtures folder which comes with Cypress, which is nothing but a test data folder. So you can have your test data inside this fixtures folder, and it would, again, you could use those files or objects throughout your automation framework. So yeah, I'm gonna let all of these files come in. So yeah, if I continue, we should be able to see that it has created a new Cypress directory, and also this file that we had talked about, and these two folders it has created, right? All right. Yeah, like I said, it supports Edge. So it has, it is showing you three different browsers by default: Chrome, Edge, and Firefox. And it goes by the name Electron. It still does not, officially support WebKit, which is Safari, but I think they're working on it. So yeah, I think we can select on which browser we want to move forward with. Let's go ahead with Chrome. I'm going to start the end-to-end testing. And this will just give you a quick feel of how the test runner of Cypress looks like, right? So right now it says that there are no spec files. So spec files are nothing but your test files, right? So there's no file there, hence it's not showing anything. But we can create a new spec file from here, or we can create on our own. So let's just call first test, right? So the Cypress files, the spec files go by this extension .cy.js, and through this extension, it automatically detects, which are your test files.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, this is our default code that it will add in this file for you. And yeah, once it does, we can see that, it has started showing that file, and it has already started running something. So we'll come back to this. Let's go to our framework, and just note this here. Yeah. All right, so it created this file for us. So this code is actually in JavaScript. So this describe is nothing but a way to create a test suite in Mocha, and it is actually nothing but a test case for us, right? So this is the default code that it added, and what it does is, Sci is a Cypress object, and it is asking to visit this URL for us, right? So what this command will do is it will open the browser and load this page, right? So if we go back to this, so this is actually what it is doing, right? It was visiting this particular URL, and we could see that, it opened that URL for us. So like I was saying that, it takes screenshot at every step, and, right now there's just one step, but if it had, say, 10 steps in this test, you could hover over any step and, you could see the state of that page at that particular step. And, it will also be recording the whole test for you. So, right, this was the default test that it had. Another thing that I know quickly want to touch is Cypress also comes up, with a feature called Playground. So if we go to this, and if we enable this, what it does is that, you can click on any element and it will basically give you the path for that element, right? So if, say, for example, if I click on this, it is showing me how I can access this element. Really cool, right? So with Selenium and others, we had to find this path on our own, but with the Cypress Playground allows us to, get those paths through this feature, right? That is also, another thing that Cypress offers over others. All right, yeah, it's a very basic one. What we can do is, maybe we can add something more to it. Just one more thing I quickly want to touch. So let's see if that works. Yeah, if I'm trying to run something, it's not giving me the option to autocomplete. So what we can do is, yeah, we can enable that IntelliSense by adding this particular command to our test. Right, I'm sorry. I think I'll have to maybe get out of this. Yeah. Sorry, my bad. I'm actually just trying to copy this command. Yeah. So if we add this command, at the beginning of the file, it will now enable us the IntelliSense feature. So for example, if I click on this, so as soon as I clicked dot or enter dot, it showed me all the methods that are there, right? So let's do one thing. Maybe let's try and access any of the elements and, put some assertions on top of it. So why not, let's just go ahead and click this element, right? So it already has got us the path to access this element. So what I'll do is I'll write this command cy.get. So this basically allows you to, get any particular element. Actually, it had copied the whole command, right? So yeah, so this will basically, fetch us this element. And what we want to do is click on this, right? And if we click on this, what will happen is it will take us to this page. And what we want to verify is, say that, there's an element, by this name. And, let's just put an assertion on it, right? So I'm gonna go there. Yeah, let's just copy this and let's just verify that it should exist, right? So basically, this should is to verify. This is actually an assertion that, this element should exist, right? And if you notice, nowhere I've mentioned, asking it to wait for the elements to appear or the pages to load. So it automatically takes care for us, right? So if I want this test to run, all I have to do is just save this and it will automatically trigger the run for you. Cool. So see, it already executed the whole test. So now we can actually hover over all the steps and see, what was the state of the page. So visit, this was the state of the page back then, right? We executed this command and it is highlighting, what that command did. So it is highlighting this get element, right? Now we clicked on this, right? So it is again highlighting that for us, and it is also showing that what was the state of the page before this was performed and what was the state after it got performed, right? So after that, we could see that it loaded the new page for us, and we selected this element, and this is the assertion that we had put in, that this element should exist, right? If we somehow say change the address, right? Here I'm intentionally passing a wrong value. What we want to validate is that the test should fail if that element does not exist, right? It's not. Let's read on this. Right here, we could say it's still looking for that element and it could not find. So it has clearly, failed the test and highlighted what went wrong in red. Right. And it is also telling you which line exactly, where the failure happened.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that pretty much it from my side. Yeah. Do you have any questions so far?
I don't. So basically just a few things regarding curriculum. So by the time we're done with the entire course, I should be, with the practice and stuff, I should be able to just, at the end of the course, should be able to just automate any, because right now I'm doing a project on the side where it's just the manual testing, and we'll be automating all those those test cases, using Cypress.
Yeah.
So that's the goal. So by the end of the course, you think should have enough knowledge where I can just grab any of those test cases and automate?
Yeah, absolutely. And once I get to learn more about your requirements, I'll try and personalize this according to your needs. And, I mean, whenever we'll be talking about Cypress and, different features of it, I'll try and give you more and more examples how you could use those things in your actual project, right? And if you have any questions, or any doubts regarding how you can achieve that through Cypress, I would be able to answer those. So I definitely expect that, by the end of this course, you would be in a very good position to, have a fully functional Cypress written automation framework, fully functional.
Okay, awesome.
And like I said, I'll definitely try and personalize this as much as possible, as according to your requirements, because Cypress offers a lot of things. It offers stubbing and spying your APIs and a lot of things, but not every feature may be helpful for you. So definitely I'll try and understand what are your requirements and how your application is, which are the more important areas where Cypress could be more useful for you.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so for the class timings and stuff, I guess I work out with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, please reach out to the SSIT team, and I think they'll be able to help you with the next steps.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. It was a great demo.
Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.